Welcome everybody. This is the Budget Committee meeting. Today is January 2nd, 2018. And we're going to open it by electing officers. There's only two of us here, but...
Okay, I'll make a motion to elect Jim, or re-elect Jim Southworth, Chairman of the Budget Committee.
Okay, and I will second that. All in favor?
It's unanimous.
It's unanimous.
2-0. Congratulations.
Okay. Okay, did you want to start off by saying anything, Gary?
Well, first of all, thank you for being here on a cold night, and I guess we could just start right off with the Public Works budget. David Benton is here. You want me to take the lead on this?
Sure.
We're still in the very early stages here.
Okay.
A large document you have in front of you, Public Works budget. That's fresh off the press for today, so some things are going to change on this. Most of what David has put down here, I'm in agreement with. I'll talk about a couple of things as we go down the list here. But essentially, this is the first look you've had of the Public Works budget. And why don't I just go down and say a few things, and David, you can jump in at any time.
Okay.
And offer some other comment. Let's go by the row numbers on the far left column like we've done in the past. Julie, you got both of these, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And Gordon, yeah. One thing that's changed in row 426, you see that in red. We've taken the seasonal laborer person out of the rec department and put it over in Public Works, and that's the $12,000 that's in there in red. And this person's going to be answering more to the Public Works Director than the Recreation Director. Remember, we're going to actually take the title of Parks and Rec Department and just change it to Recreation Department in the budget. And we're trying to move over this next year to actually make those changes so that the Rec Department has little or no responsibilities with the actual park work. There'll be some communication there that'll be expected between David and Todd. But in terms of actual duties, more of this duties of this person for $12,000 here will be answering to David than they would to Todd. There's a 2.5% cost of living adjustment, in addition to another slight adjustment for Tommy Blackburn here, from $45,000 to $48,000. That would include both the COLA and a slight adjustment for him since he's really stepped up to the plate when our third person has been sick for so many months. And I just think he's earned that. Essentially an extra $1 an hour. The labor in there, DPW labor, $15 an hour for 30 hours a week for 6 months at $12,000. We never did hire that person. We also are underwhelmed at the number of truck drivers that we might want to hire to drive our dump truck. David has not found much of anything in terms of other drivers that conveniently would want to come drive for us. Unfortunately, he's been doing a lot of that. But I thought that should at least be in the start of the budget here. There could be some overlap depending on who we hire in the future for one or two of these positions. And some of those may morph together, and by the time we get to March, there could be a few dollars in here that could go away if we do hire somebody between now and when the budget is done, 3 months from now.
Now, how often will the person be driving the truck?
Pardon?
How often will the person be driving the truck, the dump truck driver? Will you be using him on a daily basis, or?
I would say that when spring is here, it will be all 4 days, because in the springtime we work 4 10-hour days. It may not be a full 10 hours each day, but he will be there doing other things as well. That's part of the job description. Because that person has to be also able to operate a loader backhoe that we have and load trucks or load himself, or if we're doing a few other tasks, they have to be capable of doing that and also capable of helping Tommy do patchwork and so on. So it's the truck work is quite a bit. It's going to make quite a difference in our future cost of operating, and that's why we purchased it. We're hoping to cut back on hired trucks and so on.
Okay.
And that DPW number 2, which is our third person, we need that. We start patching probably in February.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be, what, 25 degrees or so before you can do that.
Yeah, around that. We may get a few days in before then. Our major problem is the old Alfred Road, as we probably all know, and further on, you'll see that we're hoping to do some work on the old Alfred Road this
Did you get the numbers this afternoon for that?
year.
For the overlay and shim and overlay?
I did.
Good. It's all right.
It was in an email, and I'll bring it up when it
Yeah.
comes time, if we get that far.
Yep. So for back to row 426, you can see there's a significant increase here of $17,000 over this year. 12 of that is from a Parks and Rec person coming over to that line. Overtime, the same. Health insurance, retirement, essentially the same. Even at the moment, most of our employees don't take that retirement, but I still think we should budget for it, especially since we may be hiring one of them. We don't know who that is right now. That's by choice, that we haven't used all these retirement dollars this fiscal year. The travel line went up when the rec department travel came over. However, if you remember, we're going to buy a four-wheel drive pickup
Yes.
this fiscal year that's going to remain here and be used by the seasonal rec / DPW person. Mike Risty is the person that's been doing that work for quite a while. It'll also be used in the wintertime by Pete coming and going to the transfer station. And David's been doing some shopping. I guess both Ford and Chevy have an under $30,000 four-wheel drive package now with a plow. Now, we don't need another plow vehicle at the moment, but our one-ton vehicle is 8 years old.
8 years old, yeah.
And it's showing some age, and for that price, it might not be a bad idea to pick that truck up for that price. David could drive that in the wintertime, especially during stormy weather. It could be a backup for that other truck, which is a smart thing, since that's really starting to show some corrosion, and we're probably going to get another 1 or 2 years out of that, I'm guessing.
That's what we're hoping. We're trying.
We're on borrowed time, I think, with all the salt that thing is.
Well, that,
It's
we
fun,
just had a major, I call it a major repair. Both coolant lines for the transmission were rusted to the point where they were starting to leak. And it cost $900 to replace them, and some other things that were rusted in the cooling department. So that's the nature of the beast. It's in the salt and sand at all times in the wintertime, and that's what happens to them. If we weren't using it during the summer, it probably would be worse. Because when you take a truck and drive it in salt all that time and then just park it, it has a tendency to get worse. So it's a major factor in our work.
Let's see, row 433, new equipment for the garage operations down there. We left that at 5. We've got a very large jack we're going to be buying to be able to change a tire on the dump truck, right?
Yes,
That's the 20-ton jack.
be a 20-ton jack for
We're
that.
going to get that in this fiscal year before June 30. Building we had down here for building supplies, not really much there, a few cleaning things, but those can be probably come out of town hall. Culverts stayed the same, which seems to be pretty consistent at $14,000. Hot top is a significant increase, and I kept mine the same, but I put a little question mark in my copy right here about, maybe when we all get done, we might have to have a goal of $280,000. Is no increase from last year, but between you folks and the selectmen, we'll see how that shakes out. But you can see in row 436 the roads that are going to be done, and I've asked David to come up with some rough estimates, some linear footage estimates here, so we can tell. It's a little more basic information of exactly where and how much of that section is paved. I think you're all familiar with that dirt section of Ossipee Hill Road.
Yes.
Who isn't if they've driven over it once? You know what I mean? And when it hasn't been graded, and I told David today that it wasn't for the buses and all the traffic on there, as far as I'm concerned, just don't grade it and let it be its own speed bump. But, it is a busy road for people traveling to school. And, hi Brianna.
I have a question on Weber Road.
Yep.
Are we just going to hot top it, pave it, or redo it like we did on Deering Ridge Road? I
We're
mean,
just going to surface, overlay and surface, yes.
okay,
Yeah, we did the, two summers ago, we did all the ditching, replaced some of the culverts and got the drainage so it worked properly and,
I know, but I'm just, because there are sections that if you had a white line on the edge of that road, you wouldn't even see that white line anymore.
yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna bring it back out to the full width
Close the notebook.
and,
Oh,
get it so that it's back. It's an important road. It's like the Deering Ridge Road. The Deering Ridge Road is important as well. And, you get a lot of traffic from Arrowhead traveling towards Portland and vice versa when they come home at night. So we wanna get both of those in tip-top shape.
At some point, how about, are we gonna address Roberts Ridge as well?
Yes, yeah. That's gonna be part of our ditching program this year, is reworking some more of that. We just did that, I think it was 3 years ago. But that road is a road that, probably 2018-19, the next year's budget, we probably ought to work in pavement on that road as well, and maybe putting some catch basins in over there. Because on the downhill side of the west of the end, it washes out by that guardrail pretty badly, and we definitely need to reconsider what's going on there. But we thought we had it fixed at one time, and all the heavy rain that we got last year just ended what we had tried to do up there, so.
Did you mean 1920? Because the one we're working on is 1819.
Yeah, that's what I meant with 1920.
Not
Yeah,
this
this is 1819.
Right.
I'm lost in my years. I'm trying to forget next year, I guess.
Brianna, I don't know, maybe Julie told you, we're on row 436?
I have been informed, thank you.
Okay.
Do you want to stay? We can take just a second to catch her up on what we've done. We elected officers.
Okay,
I'm the chairperson.
okay.
Okay. And we've gone all the way down to 436, so they are taping it, so you'll be able to go back online and watch it
Perfect.
at some point.
So row 437, you can see the note in there in the sand and salt. FY 16-17, last winter, we used 170. So I don't find the 175 that David put in there to be out of bounds. It's disappointing, but it is what it is, I guess.
It's one of those articles that I guess if we could foresee, then we could hit it right on every year. But the storms just are so different. Every storm is different, and we try to make our roads as safe as possible, and we feel that we do. And the only way to do that is to keep them clear of snow and sanded and salted, and that's just something you can't predict from year to year.
And you've got another variable coming at you too, so you don't know how much the new plow crews are gonna use or
No.
request.
No, that's a very good thought, Julie. We're getting ready to put our plowing and sanding out to bid. Gary and I spoke this morning about it, and it's concerning me because there are so many contracts that are open in this area, the town of Waterboro, the town of Alfred, the town of Hollis. All three are vying for new plow contractors next year.
And there seems to be less and less, is that what the,
There's
less
fewer
people
companies that want to do it, so,
For a whole town, yeah.
yeah. We have 63 miles of road. The town of Alfred is 52, I think, or 51 miles. I'm not sure what the town of Hollis is, but each town is going to take a contractor that's going to need from 6 to 9 trucks. And so finding contractors like that right now is quite a challenge. So we're hoping, we're gonna try, we're gonna work to try to get it out to bid by the end of January, so that we're hopefully a step ahead of other towns vying for these contractors.
We have a workshop scheduled with the selectmen for the 16th. Yes. 2 weeks from tonight, to talk about that. And I think Doug Foglio Jr., if not junior, senior, and maybe other members of the company there will be there. I haven't heard back from Doug Jr. yet. I did invite him. He's been very helpful in this transition. So, as you can see from, we can drop down to this, it's a good segue, I guess, but we've got to fill in between. But if you drop down to row 457, I put 475, well, David and I put 475 in there for, I guess, a placeholder for now. And that shouldn't say in the red, it shouldn't say $5,000 for West Road, it should say 10 as an estimate. The blowing, the cost of blowing the sidewalk on West Road has gone up. So I planned on just about doubling that. We had it for a little under $5,000 for a couple of years, but
For many years.
and we're now paying in just a little north of 7 with a contractor that we sought out because nobody bid on it.
Didn't know that it was up for bid.
And we think that eventually this community is going to need to have a sidewalk machine. We don't have much for sidewalk now. We get 2 miles of sidewalk in South Waterboro, and we'll talk about that when we move to the capital plan here, about whether or not we start putting some money toward that like we did last year. David was suggesting, I think, $25,000 just to start the sidewalks down there. And we hit that or 50 last year, and that didn't survive the budget process. But I think we need to talk about it year after year. So, who knows? I mean, this line 457 could go up considerably if the bids come in high. To his credit, Selectman Dennis Abbott was talking the other night about starting to think about having our own trucks and our own garage and all that. My goodness, that's a hugely expensive venture. And it would be nice to not have to do that for at least another 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, because you're talking multi-million-dollar
Oh, gosh.
expenses,
Yeah,
not just for the vehicles, for the housing of the vehicles, for the drivers of the vehicles.
Maintenance, fuel, it just,
6
it
trucks.
is,
6 trucks.
Yeah, 'cause you-
with an extra.
Yeah, because when you said 6 to 9 trucks to do the 63 miles of road.
and then you
so-
have to have payroll for all of those people
Yeah.
that,
And you're not talking about just 6 or 8 drivers, because you have a storm and you have a 12-hour, 14-hour storm. You can't expect one driver to work that whole shift.
well, they're allowed to.
Well,
They do it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that Foglio's is retiring. They've been plowing Waterboro for 50 years. And they've come to the point where their employees are just not interested any longer, and they have enough earthwork so that it's not something that is necessary any longer, so. Because it used to be that people that did plowing in a big way like that, it was so to keep the guys busy in the wintertime, so they wouldn't drift off to a different company to work. But that's not necessarily the case with them now, so.
Then you plan on 10 miles per vehicle. planning.
miles per vehicle is what the state, that's what they do. And that's pretty, actually, Foglio's use, I think there are 6 trucks, 3 loaders, and 3 or 4 pickup trucks. Just in Waterboro, and then they have 3 more plow trucks, another loader, and a pickup truck in Alfred. So there's, and you have to have spares, because they are pieces of iron that break and have problems, so. But going in that direction for the town would be a very big cost. We don't have the maintenance facility, we don't have the personnel at this time. We might be able to work into it a little bit at a time.
Yeah, phase into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, Dennis was not suggesting that because he wanted to do that, to be clear. He was saying we might have to. It actually might be, it's scary to think, but it might be less expensive than what we might be getting for bids. Which, I hope that doesn't happen. It could.
Is there still a road review committee?
Yes.
there is, but we're looking for help. There are only 2 active members right now.
And is Scott Davis is still?
And Nancy Roberg. Yeah, Roger retired this year, and we were working with just 3 members before, and myself. So we are looking for new people to, that's a very important part of helping with my budget, really. And they go out and look over the roads and make suggestions, and we do a lot of studying on the roads and so on. This year, we didn't
Have
have
you
the people.
looked into the possibility that Lake Arrowhead would be interested in plowing New Dam Road?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, Scott,
I mean,
He and
you're
I-
pretty well,
he and I have talked about joining battles at sometimes on this plowing, and they have such a challenge with all of their roads. They have, I forget what it is, 49 miles or 50-something miles.
Just north of 50, I think.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
like 52
and,
miles of road. And it's
they're-
on both, it's broken up
It's
too,
tight.
because they have some on Limerick
Yeah.
on Route 5 side.
And the
and then-
majority of them are still dirt roads, gravel
Yes.
roads, so that's a challenge in itself. It really is. I don't envy them at all. We're down to just 2 small sections of dirt road in Waterboro, and it's much better. Pavement roads are a lot better to do.
Now, where does their line end? So, like, if you go into Lake Arrowhead, what is it, Silas Brown, and then there's New Dam,
New
Is it-
Dam is ours, that's the only road that
then
we...
Chadbourne Ridge, when you take a left right there, that's Lake
Yes.
Arrowhead? Okay.
Yes, we go from Chadbourne Ridge Road, the intersection of New Dam and Chadbourne,
Yeah.
and we plow to the bridge.
Oh, okay.
And
But
there
we
is
take- we
one
have
little
Weber.
development down right across the street from Old Portland Road. There's
Okay.
a small development that was approved by the town, and we plow that also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Anything else on the winter operations? We kind of jumped here from sand and salt down to plowing, which is fine, because we're gonna have a lot more conversation on that down the road, but I guess we'd go back up to line 438, signs. These are road signs, primarily a springtime venture, but it's still going on all year long, and there are tremendous numbers that are stolen. So that's what essentially the $3,000+ is for both posts and signs. Clothing allowance went up a little bit. We may have to outfit another person with boots in terms of hiring a new body. For fuel, we kept the same number. It's a little bit of a tricky shoot here because that dump truck will hopefully, with another driver, get even more miles on it this coming summer for the road construction and maintenance season. And diesel is, I don't know, where is it now? 260?
No,
What's
it's like
that, fuel?
Yeah.
309.
diesel is three.
Right.
Yeah,
Three?
it's north of
$309,
$3.
$2.99, depending on the gallon.
If you're
Yeah.
lucky.
Because that's what I got a diesel
I
for.
have diesel too. Yeah.
But I think we, just to, as a comparison,
Yeah.
how fair is it to look at last year's fuel usage compared to where we are now?
Well,
We didn't have the dump truck for the whole of 16, 17.
no, and we were
Yeah. That's for doing.
without a driver part of the time, so the truck,
Yeah. We spent $9,200 in the previous entire 12 months
yeah.
on that, so.
The truck is very good on fuel, by the way. It's a very economical truck. I was kind of surprised at that. But it is new and it runs really well, so,
Well, it ought to, for $142,000.
Being automatic helps too.
automatic clutch.
Yes.
The transmission isn't automatic.
No, but you got
It
the clutch. So,
electronically shifts itself.
yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
It makes a fair driver a great driver.
Licenses in row 441, gravel pit license that we have, and there may be one other in there, I'm not sure. Is there one over and above the gravel pit license?
No, that's all.
That's it. Electricity for down at Public Works, as well as heat for the shop there. And some of these places, quite a few of these places, we're gonna have to get Brianna around, so if, I think you folks have both been through the salt shed, you have, Donna, haven't you? We need to get Brianna down and see these places that we're talking about spending all this money on, so hopefully we'll do that in the next couple of weeks. Telephone, internet and phone are at the garage, which is not new, that was the case last year. And cell phone reimbursement for 2 employees, that being David and Tommy. That's what that line is for. Under repairs and maintenance, we do have 2 loaders, but one of them is under the transfer station with the new dump truck and the 1-ton, which is the truck you see plowing this building here, the library and the fire stations with the sander in the back. That's the one that we're hoping to get another year or 2 out of, but it's 7 or 8 years old now. Pit restoration, row 448, we cut that in half. We've got the 10,000 in there for this year, and we would carry that forward if there's any left. I don't know with our staffing, I don't even know if we're gonna get to any pit restoration unless we hire some more help here that's on board and ready to go in the springtime. Then we might just carry that forward and we might be able to take this
Can I
down.
explain one other thing? too?
Absolutely.
Under pit regulations, we're not at our maximum opening on the pit yet, so the restoration will be reclaiming the slopes when we're done and grassing it all in and bringing it back to a mowable state and just try to you have to do that by rule under our pit regulations in the town and the state. And we're not at a point where we have to do much of that right now, so when that happens, then we may have to raise a little bit more money to do that, but what little bit we can do now, we can do with that money.
And am I correct in saying the place we would start is, if you're down in behind the transfer station where the wood waste goes,
Yes,
we would go farther back outside the transfer station area, close to the brook, and that's the area that's the lowest that we would first start
yes.
to restore.
That's- The rest of the pit, we actually can go 4 feet deeper if we wanted to, but in most cases, the ledge is right nearby, so we won't be able to go much deeper. And we can't go back, if you're facing the pit, we can't go to the left any further.
Yeah.
We're at our limit over there. And there's some out back where we had some cut last year, and that's the maximum our pit allows us to use.
So we've got another 3 to 5 years.
Yes.
And the selectmen are talking about having a conversation with Mr. Foglio, who owns a piece of land across the road that could be another pit for us. And stay tuned and as to whether or not, I guess, that goes anywhere. That's no great secret. The piece of property has been available for some time, and there's a variety of issues that go along with it, but we're in discussion with that. One option is you can buy gravel, another option is you could buy another pit and open it up right close by. Let's see. Mowing, $1,000 for the old landfill area, which is that field area on the right on Bennett Hill Road before you get to the transfer station. Back up about 1/8 of a mile on the other side of the road. We have a hand compactor that you use in a ditch. It's going to need some significant repairs, I guess, and that's one of the things that would be for that $2,000 under equipment in line 450. David raised a good issue in terms of portables, and cell phones are fine, but they're not always reliable. And certainly having some high band portables. We do a lot of work with the police department, with the fire department, and our guys help them out a lot, especially in the winter time. And being able to communicate with them directly instead of cell phones would be a help, using an existing channel that they have that they use for a work channel, right?
Yes.
That was the reasoning for having those portables.
We have a fixed radio in the 1-ton truck that Tommy operates, and I have a handheld radio that I keep at my house, and whenever there's a fire in the wintertime, they call me to get sand trucks out, and in the summertime, we have gone up with our excavator and helped tear debris off a building that's burning and help the fire department. So being able to communicate with them is very important. So I talked to them today, and they're going to get us some prices on radios so that if this is passed, we're all set to get them as soon as the new budget is approved.
So maybe we don't need 3 in this. We
Pardon?
need 2 and not 3?
We need one for the dump truck, one for the loader, and one for the new pickup that,
Oh, okay, that's where the third one is going.
yes.
They'd be mounted right in the dash with a charger up on there.
Pardon?
They'd be mounted right in the dash with a charger all
No,
wired
the
in.
charger you keep in a building or at home, or,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the one that's in Tommy's truck is hooked directly to the battery, but all the others are totally portable, have to be put on a charger at night.
Okay. And I think for both Donna and Jim, when you were down to the old salt shed, you saw the condition of the front of that building. The door is essentially falling off. We have the door that we've already purchased
Yes,
that's down there, and that will be going on this fiscal year, which is why I put that note in there, spring 2018, before this fiscal year ends, that door will be going up. Needs some significant framing to hold it up there, if you can remember what the front of that building looks like.
yes,
So-
that door is 16 feet tall, so we'll have to, the opening right now I think is 8 inches wider than what we need, so we're gonna have to put the new framework in there for the door and get it mounted. The gentleman that we bought it through, which is Bud's Overhead Doors, a local dealer, Radiant Waterbury, will install the door after we have the framework built.
We'll talk about insulating, because in this line, we also talked about some insulating that space. What are we gonna do with that old salt shed area?
Well, once we get it watertight again, over the years, the boards have separated. Once we get it watertight and get the new door and the new floorboard, we will use that building. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna power wash the whole building, because that was where we used to store, we could store 400 ton of salt in there at one time, and so we're gonna wash all that old salt off the concrete walls and the wood that's in there, and we'll get it nice and clean and put a new floor in the door and insulate it, and then we'll be able to park the dump truck and whatever other piece of equipment. We can get quite a bit in there. It's a pretty good sized building for a garage use, and put some new lights up and use it for repairing or greasing or whatever we need to do. try to get the equipment out of the weather when it's not being used.
Because the dump truck cannot fit in the other bay now, it's too tall.
The dump truck will fit in the other bay.
Height-wise?
Yes, we took the dump truck in the other building when Todd Abbott came to put the signs on it.
Must be tight.
It is tight. It's the mirrors that are tight on the side,
Oh,
and we had to be careful. One of the overhead lights, we had to come in on a little bit of an angle, because one of the overhead lights was close to hitting the headboard, but it will fit in there.
that's good.
Yep. Yeah, we can get every piece of equipment we have in there one at a time
Yep.
to work on them. So once we finish this bigger side and get it so that there's no salt and it's closed in and a little bit easier to heat, then we'll be able to do maintenance in there as well, and storage of equipment.
David's gonna look for some more refined estimates on spray insulation in there, since that would be the ideal thing to do in there. We don't care all that much how it looks inside. I'm not sure if we could easily spray both the ceiling and all three walls. Because on one of them, we don't have any exposed studs. Right?
That's correct. Yep, part of it, part of one wall.
Moving down to row 453, we bumped up several of these lines here, and to the tune of $15,000 more in the total line compared to this year under column F there. The brush clearing and mowing went from $22,000 to $25,000. The $60,000 roads and bridges is the same. The $24,000 ditch clean out, I think went up $2,000. Cold patching stayed at $7,500. Striping went up from 12 to 15, which I think is necessary. And the catch basin clean out stayed at 3. We've had multiple positive comments once we do the striping, and some negative comments when we haven't. So I think that's important enough to people that they know that they want to pay for that. So we felt that we should bump that up some.
So is that 15,000 to do the striping on all the roads that were done
Yes.
like
That-
this time?
The 15,000 will cover all of them, and on some of the roads, we're eventually gonna add a white line on the outside so that the edge of the road will show up better in the night and so on.
Do we have a cost on that, on how much it would cost for all of our roads for the 63 miles to have that white stripe?
I do not have that cost at this time, but we can figure that out. I can call them and they can give me a price instantly, because the same people have been striping our roads for over 15 years. This year, we thought we'd lost out because of the cold weather coming on so quickly. And one Tuesday afternoon, he called me and said, Dave would like to come and do your roads. We're gonna come up and do the city of Saco, and we'd like to fit yours in, and they did, and it really made it good for us, because not only is it great for everyone that drives on the roads, but it makes a big difference for the plow truck drivers. The plow truck drivers rely on that center line so that they can determine how close to the edge of the road they can get, or how far into the shoulder they can get. It makes a big difference, and it worked out great. And also, the little bit of addition in the price also is going to change. Some of the roads that we're going to put finished pavement on this next year, we will put finished striping on also, and it's a different type of striping.
Yes.
It will last longer, and we won't have to worry about, we won't be paving over it again, so we'll want that better striping.
I think that was one of the complaints before too, is that you would stripe it in September,
Yeah.
and by the middle of the winter into the spring, it's because of salt and sand and everything else, it would just wipe away that paint because of,
And that's mainly because the pavement that we might do this year is just a shim and overlay, and next year we might put the finished pavement on. So it's really, it's a waste to put the good paint on and then just overlay it and cover it up, so.
But the white striping on the side, I think, is a big safety issue.
Oh, I think
I
so.
mean, especially for old people like
Yeah.
myself, you're driving at night in the rain, and
Oh, I
you know,
think
you go
everyone
along
will.
Weber Road, Deering Ridge Road, and Roberts Ridge Road, and you have headlights coming at you the other way. I mean, it's tough because you really can't, you can barely see the center line, but if you had that white stripe on the side, at least you can kind of direct your eyes to that and follow it through.
Yes.
The many we've done the white without the yellow over time.
Say that
Have we
again?
done the white side striping on some of our slower?
No,
Roads
the
without
white
the
is
yellow?
just it just complements everything else. The yellow has always been,
Yeah, the
Well,
yellow
but-
keeps the people from coming over to
Yeah.
that side of the road.
So we wouldn't do a white only on each side?
no.
Because you see the difference when you drive down Deering Ridge Road and you
Yeah.
go into Hollis Pot and the white stripe is there. When it's dark at night and
Yeah.
it's rainy and
We are, and I don't, I'm not gonna beat this subject up, but we are so far behind in paving because of all the years that we just cut back, and now we're trying to get caught up with
catch up.
that. Once we are caught up and get some finished pavement on top of this shim, then you're gonna see the stripe stay much longer. It will, the quality of the paint changes dramatically. They'll add a sparkle to it so that you can see it easier and it will show up better. And
because the
that's
state
all.
obviously uses something because it doesn't wear down on the roads and they're traveled over much more
Mhm.
frequently than ours.
It'll make quite a difference.
But I know that we're behind. Doug brought that up about 3 years ago
Yeah,
on how far
Every year.
behind we are. What's that?
Every year.
Yeah, but that year we
he was
started
right.
picking up on projects
well, I think
that,
that we missed a year of painting as well. I think there was a year that we didn't get all the roads painted one year, and that caught up with us also, but we're trying to get caught up on all these things, and paving makes a road so much better, it's safer, it's easier to plow and keep safe than a road that has got rumble strips and dips and weaves, and it's just so much better. And coal patch is $115 a ton versus $54 a ton for hot top. And a ton of hot top goes a lot further than a ton of patch in reality, because patch will not stay. It just doesn't stay.
By the end of this fall temperatures, the crew had old Alfred Road. I think almost every one of those divots had been filled in at one time.
At least once.
And now, last time I counted, which was 2 weeks ago, I stopped counting at 120. Just trying to get to work from the other end.
And we would have been out there patching now if the weather were better.
Yeah.
But there's absolutely, it's a waste of money to go out there when it's this cold.
Why don't you explain briefly what price that you're looking to get for? You have a rough estimate for Old Alfred Road? That you
So how
did?
much it would cost us to
Yeah,
pave it?
is that the one you have in your phone there?
I do.
so there is no chance that the state is gonna,
Well, we think they're gonna pony up 50%, which is a
That was the
pleasant
last word that I
surprise.
received. I went in last week and had a meeting with a state representative of the highway department, and we didn't know that before, but now we do know that if we come in there with all the information on what we're gonna put down for pavement and they approve it, then they'll pay 50% of the cost.
It has to be chewed right up.
Pardon?
It has to be chewed right up and rebuilt all the way through, doesn't it?
No, we're not gonna, And Gordon, the reason we're not going to is because it's estimated that the pavement on that road could be as thick as 6 or 7 inches thick. And to grind 6 or 7 inches of hot top it just doesn't work. It's not good. What they would want to do is mill it down 3 or 4 inches and then grind it after that. Or mill it down and just repave it. But they're suggesting that we shim it. We use a good tack and then put a 2-inch base pavement on top of the shim. It's
What is-
called a shim and an
What does a
overlay.
good tack mean? Can you explain that, please?
The tack is a contact liquid that they put on that, what it does is it's kind of like putting a primer on plastic pipe when you're gluing plastic pipe. It softens the base a little bit and it's a contact liquid that will help them bond. And so it bonds better. So we will put a shim on there that on the center line, it probably won't be much hot top. But on the shoulders where it dips off, we'll raise it up and then we'll put a 2-inch, a very conforming shape on the road and get it back to, and then we'll put new gravel shoulders on it. It is expensive.
How long is Old Alfred Road? What's the mileage?
2 miles? Maybe a little less than 2 miles?
No, it's 10,725 feet at 20 foot, 24
So just
feet,
over 2.
6 inches wide. The total tons at shimming and paving it is 4,087 tons. It comes to a grand total of $258,000 to shim and overlay that. And if the state will come through with what they said they would, then the final cost for the town of Waterboro is half of that price.
What was the price?
So
258.
258?
it could be along the lines of $180,000 for us to do that 10,700 and some feet.
And maybe by the time we get to doing it, it'd probably be up to about 200,000.
Well,
If prices
yes,
go up the way
when
they
you talk
do.
of the gravel shoulders and so on, yeah. But this is, we're putting this in our CIP and that road is a very busy road, very busy road. One other thing that I'll touch on just quickly, because I know that someone is going to ask me this question. We cannot restrict trucks on that road because of all the federal taxes that trucks pay and state taxes for use on those roads. That was one of the questions that I asked them, and we are not allowed to restrict that. So we'll have to live with that part of it, but once it's shimmed and overlaid, I think it's gonna make quite a difference on the road. The sad part is then they'll probably do 60 miles an hour instead of 45 on it, so. But
So what do you think about the condition of Old Alfred Road? How much of a thorn in the side of the community is it in your mind?
I think it's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, I only travel it maybe once a week, but it's a hassle. I can't imagine traveling it every day.
It's heavily traveled.
It is heavily traveled. I mean, anybody that goes to Sanford, Springvale, Biddeford,
out of
It's usually-
state,
Pratt and Whitney?
out of state,
yeah,
is going down that road.
yeah.
Have we done a recent traffic count on that? We still got those,
You know, I think Roger did, I think, and I know the state has, and I probably can get that from Kyle, from the state, but I know that, you know, we work down there in the Friendship Park and watching the traffic go by there is just an amazing amount of cars and buses and trucks, although since Poland Springs has been after their truckers, more and more of them are going out, all the way out to 202 and then down to get out of state. They have the choice, once they get out to Route 202 in Hollis, to go either left to 112 and then out to the turnpike, or go south. And along the lines of restricting that road, he told me that, I don't know if you've ever traveled over near Poland Springs, but that road goes all the way out to Route 35, and the town of Hollis restricted that, and the state made them take that restriction off because they're not allowed to do that on that road or any road in the state.
That was done 2.5 months ago, because that's the road I travel, and you ought to see the
The
trouble. Yeah.
state has reassumed ownership of that road now.
That could be.
Killian Road,
Yeah,
yeah.
that could be.
The signs came down.
The signs came down, and a private truck is plowing that, an individual, it's not a town plow, because that's one of the last roads to get plowed, because it was no more than 3 axles. 3 axles couldn't go beyond the plant or come in from the other side. And within the last 3 to 6 months, there's been 2 jacks, they are jackknives, that they're coming in with a GPS, they're coming across 35 all the way from Gray. And
They
getting
have
in there.
changed it though, Julie. The state made them.
Oh, I know they did, because
Take
that's the
that
road
off.
I traveled every day, and I
Yeah.
saw him when he did it. They took it down before the snow came. They took it down, and I was surprised, because that road isn't very wide.
No, it isn't.
No.
All right, I think that few minutes of good discussion was ending up on striping and such things. 453 Town Roads Maintenance.
While we're on roads, Gary, can I
Yep.
ask you a quick question? What about Blueberry Road? That's in horrible condition.
Blueberry Road is, we have money from last year that we're going to go up. I was up there today with F.R. Carroll's, doing the estimate on, there's 2,200 feet of the Blueberry Road that we're gonna break up the pavement, we're gonna add 18 inches of gravel and raise the height of that road, because the road is down into a wet area and it just is never gonna be anything but broken hot top. And then we're gonna pave it, and they gave me a price for shimming the rest of the road as well.
That's this fiscal year though, right? We're gonna do that before June 30.
The part of it where we rebuild it, yeah. That part is money that was left over from,
But not the paving in this fiscal year.
no, the paving is out of, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, maybe we've got to follow up with some Blueberry Road paving then,
Oh, yeah, we do.
in this budget. You and I didn't do that today.
I think there's money in my present paving budget to do that.
Okay, so both the rebuilding and the paving would be done
Yeah.
before
Oh,
June
that's
30.
Second,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Good answer. Crushing gravel in our pit. As long as we've got the gravel there, we'll pay a contractor to come in and do that. And it produces, I think, 3 different products. Is that right,
Yes,
David? In terms of size of stone?
4 different.
4?
Yep, we get a small amount of 3/4 inch stone, 3/4 inch gravel, 1.5 inch gravel, and 4 inch gravel.
And the line right under that, engineering, we had 20,000 in there for this year, and we don't think we're gonna use much of that, so for the moment anyway, we'll leave this at 0, carry forward that remaining balance at the town meeting referendum vote, and perhaps leave this, continue it at 0. For the plowing, we talked about that before, I don't think we need to revisit that. Stay tuned for more information. You're certainly welcome to come on January 16th if you want to, for that workshop here. It's just on that subject for the moment anyway.
Yeah, it might help you in the future when that budget is
Yep.
ready to come up, because it's gonna be, it'll be,
Pass these down, please, the 3 of you. Julie already has one.
I got a screw. My car broke down in Lewiston yesterday, and so I have a ride that's gonna come and pick up my car. Is it okay if I take these though?
In other words, you have to leave. You're saying you have to leave right
I
now?
have to go, like,
Okay.
right now. I have a ride who's bringing me up to Williston,
Okay.
hoping my car will start. So yeah, thank you, I'm sorry.
And you're gonna rattle my cage when we can take a ride around town and see some of these things.
Yeah, I wanted to go over that tonight, but
Let's not do it Thursday.
let's not. Yeah, no, let's not. I think I'm working like almost every day these next couple of weeks, but we'll see.
This Friday or by the end of next week would be great.
This Friday or the end of next week.
And stay tuned on your email because we have to talk collectively about a conflict with an EDC meeting and a budget meeting that's for the same time.
Next,
Next
is that one of
Thursday.
these pages?
This Thursday.
This
No.
Thursday?
No, next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
I think he said
The 11th.
EDC meeting, right? Is that what you said, EDC?
That's what I meant to say, EDC.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I thought you said.
Yeah, EDC and Budget Committee.
And I think he thought you said ZBA.
Didn't mean to if I did.
Maybe you did.
But that's his meeting on this
I
Thursday.
don't know,
Yeah, he's only on 3 committees.
Yeah, I know.
So,
So, are we on for the 18th?
We're still
That's
on.
my point, I mean, the 11th.
just check your emails, we'll stay in touch.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, we've got this second Thursday of the month that's the EDC meetings. I've been playing phone tag with Chuck today. If he's ready to have another meeting to talk about the TIF district application, that's fine. But remember, when we last met, everybody, I think, was a consensus. We'll meet when we need to, not just because we can. So there's not a whole lot more to do to that application. But if he needs input from the committee or we get new information, we'll meet. But we've been playing telephone tag all day, so I don't know the answer to that. So I'll let you know by email once I talk to him. If EDC's out, we'll meet at the regular time
Okay,
next Thursday. This is our only meeting for this week.
yes.
okay.
So,
And can you meet early, like we did when we did the last time? Of course, you didn't make it that day, so
I can meet early, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we'd have to check with Brianna to see if she can. So if EDC meets,
So 4:30?
And you're talking the 11th?
what's
You're
that?
talking on the 11th?
Yes.
Okay. Bless you.
Okay, that's it down on the bottom of this one. The only other thing I have for you this evening is this small sheet of paper, capital improvement plan, CIP. Over in column D, your column, I circled these 7 green areas, things to think about. I think we ought to continue the conversation on line 508, excuse me, the water main extension from elementary school to Central Station. And you wait just a second, I'm going to close the door. Planning board member out there talking up the hallway. Remember, that was about 900 feet, $100 a foot, so it's somewhere between $90,000 and $100,000.
I think that had gone up to like about 140,000. Wasn't that the last figure we had
I
last
don't
year?
remember that.
I don't remember it being that much, it shouldn't be that much.
No?
We were thinking we could get it down closer to 90 with a good local contractor and
Yep.
helping them out with
And it's
material.
very, very important to the fire department to get that in there.
And the other thing I have in here, Glenn is waiting for some more construction numbers for this fireproof room that we're thinking that we want to keep the discussion going on just outside of his office between here and the old section of Town Hall. The storage units are plus or minus $20,000 depending on how many you buy. The actual masonry room, I think, was in the $40,000 to $60,000 range. But stay tuned for more information on that when he gets those numbers in. And we need to do something here long term because if we ever lost those records from fire, it would be absolutely terrible. So we either spend $1,000, $1,500 on 4 or 5 drawer insulated file cabinets that we could put in the existing office, or do something that I think makes more sense and is a better fix long term as the town grows. because we're gonna run out, we've already run out of storage space in the existing storage units in the code office. We either have to go up right now in the next year or two, or do what we're suggesting here. The electronic sign, we have wonderful conversations about where the sign could go, and everybody thinks it's a great idea, but it didn't pass, and it hasn't since I've been here for 4 more years before. So since it failed at 15,000 last year, I
I
put
know,
it
I
in
was
for
just gonna
20.
say that.
So I
So
do
you
have a.
think if you raise the price up, then
I don't know. I was a little punchy this afternoon, so I do have a sign rep coming in to give me and David an update on what they sell locally here, and we'll keep you posted on that. I think we should do it. Most of the people have been saying it should be outside this building because this is town hall, but it's certainly not
I
the
can't think
busiest
of any
place.
place else that it would go, but how many people would see it
They
here?
don't even read the sign that we're closed on Mondays.
Yeah. Well, Route 5 over at the fire station's another place. I think the best place is what we were talking about before, is at 202 and 5, right there by the pizza place.
Yeah, but what about all the people that come up Old Alfred Road? And if that's at least a third of the people,
At the monument, that little triangle would be the
You're
best.
not-
That's why we ought to go for 3 signs. One out here, one down at 202 and 5, and one at 5 and West Road. And that gets all the traffic coming from, the upper end of West Road down through the South Waterboro traffic, and then this one gets all the Arrowhead traffic and everybody going up Old Alfred Road, and the other one gets.
so what would we be using the electronic signs for? What I'm asking is like, can something be done that through Facebook pages, through our electronic pages, that people could get information?
We do that now. I mean, but this is for the traveling public to see there's a meeting tonight. I mean, Budget Committee, 6 p.m., Town Hall.
And you think that's going to bring people in?
I didn't say that.
He's safe.
Information.
is information.
Letting them know what's happening. Vote in and around voting in town meeting time. We don't have town meeting anymore, but we have a very important referendum that's going to take the place at town meeting. We've got a lot of work to do, and we could have that up for weeks with different information on there. You can't have a whole paragraph down there. It has to be pretty brief. It's up to you folks and the selectmen on whether or not we want to do that. I think everybody likes the idea, but just one of the things that didn't pass the budget smell test in the end. Okay, let's see, electronic sign. Any more discussion on that good idea? I kept these fire station things in, a lot of these 2 areas here that are actually strike-through text. I don't want to lose the fact that we're still going to have a discussion on whether or not to go back to the voters in fall of 2018 or beyond to do something at the fire station in terms of an addition. So I just put question marks in there now. You've got zeros in there for painting the town garage and the transfer station building. I just don't think that's a high enough priority at the moment. We've got to fix the doors at the town garage and do those other things we've already talked about. And row 515, same answer in terms of that being part of the renovations at Central Station. The only other one that could be done, no matter what happens there, is 516, that insulation. And I think we're going to get that same insulation engineer that we had here in Town Hall to waltz up through the attic there. It's several different challenges at once. It's a lot more complex than this building was. This building, we put an insulated roof on top. And it's worked very well, it performed very well. The amount of ice coming off this building now has probably gone down by 95%. If we hadn't knocked it down last week, the icicle coming off the real heat leak at the fire station would be as thick as my waist or my shoulders by now in this cold weather. And it's dangerous. So I had the guys take a hose out there and make a mess of the walkway, and they actually got it down. But I'm going to push hard too for something in the way of insulation for the fire station. We can at least do that if we don't do anything else over there. Septic station, septic field repairs, I took that to 0 because I don't think we have a problem out there. We put the camera in there, we dug up one connection, And we think as long as we do some routine maintenance in that, I think we're fine in that regard, which is a good thing. And then we've got a new figure to put in row 519, which is 258 divided by 2. So, you know, $1.30, I guess, for the town side is what I'll put in this next version of this document, assuming that we get the green light from the state. Half of 258 or half of 260 is what we would owe. Sidewalks, I put a $25,000 placeholder in there. I think we started at 50 last year. And I think we were at around $175,000 to $200,000 if we did all that at once. But I think that estimate might have been a little high from some of the work you did after that. And we could peel that up ourselves
Yes.
and prepare the surface and just have the paving company come. Is that,
That's exactly right.
am I speaking correctly here?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we had.
We've got our little excavator with a ditching bucket, and we've got a loader backhoe.
The town's excavator is ideal for doing that job.
And Star Hill Road, you're gonna have to speak about. I don't know enough about that, David.
Star Hill Road is one of those roads in Waterboro that does not have a full 50 feet of right-of-way. So the road is a narrow road. It is in need of cleanup along the shoulders. It's in need of a shim, and we have approximately 450 feet of dirt road up there that really should be paved. There are 3 houses up there on that section, and it's just more and more difficult to take care of that road because of that dirt section. There are a number of large trees that need to be cut and so on, so that money should cover it. But here again, it's another one of those low-traveled roads, and it's mostly the people that live up there, which there is actually, I believe there's close to 22 or 24 homes up there total. Not all on Star Hill, some of them are on, my mind's gone blank. Avery Road,
Mhm.
on the Avery Road.
But the 75 is enough for all that work. I mean, you got several
On
$1,000s.
Star Hill Road, I believe, yeah.
Probably got $3 to $5 grand just in taking some of those huge trees down.
Some of the trees are the only thing that may bump that up a little bit, and that may be a problem, but most of it we could do with that much money.
Is that the section that had like stone fences on both sides?
Yeah, there's
Tight,
stone
right.
walls
Yeah.
all the way up, yeah. And it's only, I think it's only 33 foot right of way. So it makes it difficult because in most cases, the property line is the center of the stone wall. So you can't, it would be, in my book, it would be a sin to take any of the stone walls down there.
So you wouldn't be touching
Their
those?
history, that road has a huge history in Waterboro, so,
Oh, does it?
yes.
Okay, so it's always been a legal road as far as the town
A
goes?
certain part of it. It used to be open all the way through to Alfred. It goes all the way down to Federal Street in Alfred by the Guile Farm.
Mhm.
Now we only go to the Alfred line is part of we actually only maintain to the last house at this time, but the whole road is still ours. It was never discontinued, so. And there's a new house going up there this year. Deputy Chevette is gonna rebuild right next door to the house he just sold.
Oh. Good. Any questions of what we've done so far this evening? I almost had the recreation department ready to give to you tonight, but it needed a little more work, and I will have Todd, if he's available, here on the 11th. And we can dive into that and the comparison between Public Works and Rec and the new things that would be in the Rec budget. Any other homework for me from you folks in terms of something specific you want from myself or David? Or Julie? You know, you get things from Julie, and that's great, or any of the numbers backup you need. She's the person to see. Remember, Jim, that document you got there, the dates are gonna change, every one of those I do. So
Okay.
you can either save all of those if you want, or the next one you get, next Thursday night, we'll have
Replace it.
that date on it. In addition, these sheets right here are in the document right now. I just didn't feel like wasting all that paper.
Okay.
Giving you the whole document this evening. You'll get all this stuff with you, to you next Thursday night.
How much road did you say out the water, Hollis has, that the town plows?
How much what?
How much was the road that you said, because you said Hollis was out and Alfred was out looking for contracts. How much road did you say those two towns had?
Those two,
Yeah,
Hollis, I'm not sure of, Alfred is 45 or 50, I forget the exact count there.
so, but Waterboro is a lot higher than,
We're
I think
63.
Hollis is close to the same as Waterboro.
okay. I was just down here pushing pencil on their budgets and stuff, for instance, for Hollis, in their budget for this year, for just their plowing and their salt, they have just under $545,000 in their budget.
Plowing and salt, no sand?
That's the way it's broke down. It says for the plowing and salting.
And they,
That's
No.
not much less than ours.
110. We're, excuse me, I said that wrong. Theirs, this for this year is 434. Ours is 544. We're up over, we're 100,000 more. And Alfred spent 113,300, just under $300 for salt last year for 2016. There's 17 figures not in there yet. Just give you some backup information.
so you didn't find the plowing contract number for Alfred?
Not quickly here on my phone, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
So the West Road sidewalk, that's already taken care of for the year?
yes, yeah.
So you won't
DNR
be-
paving is doing it,
Okay.
and we'll pay them on I think he's gonna submit monthly invoices or something like that.
Okay.
He actually just went and bought an additional 4-foot blower, which is better than his 6-foot, so he can get around that 1 or 2 telephone poles there.
Yeah.
We didn't ask him to go back in what we'd done in the contract before to pick up the sand off the people's lawns, so we may have to pay him additional to do that, or we go do it ourselves, or some combination of that, because we have told the people on that road that we'll pick up the sand on their lawns. Although I think most of the time.
But he's
they've
done a
it.
better job of putting the snow right beside where he's doing the sidewalk.
Yes.
Our other contractors had an undesirable habit of blowing the snow onto people's property, further
Right.
onto their property, so. And that's the way it's supposed to be. The chute is supposed to just drop. You'll see that in the city. The snow is piled right beside where the sidewalk is.
Yep.
He's doing a great job. He really is. I'm very happy with what he's done.
But we've been having the conversations, and he's staying on top of a couple of the dealers around here to look for warranted or refurbished sidewalk machines. I mean, sometime in the next 5 years, this town's gonna need one. It's a universal vehicle, and you can, piece of equipment, you can put a mower on it in the summertime, you can have a front brush on it, and plow snow and blow snow in the wintertime. And else, I forget, oh, you can put a flail mower on it
Yeah.
too.
There's one on Municiped.
Yeah, there's quite a few on there, and, I mean, the guy over in Limerick there, McLean, he has 2 of them sitting there, but they haven't been gone through, and I'm not about to buy something that's been turned in by a town that hasn't had a factory
Right.
rehab in it. They're just buying somebody else's problems.
And as we do the rebuilding of the other 2 miles of whatever the footage is on the other sidewalk, we may decide to snow blow more sidewalk. There are a lot of people that like to walk on sidewalks and get to different places. There's a post office and stores and so on.
I know that
What
in the
stores?
summertime, there is a lot of,
What's
Coming back.
Yeah,
in the summertime, there is a lot of foot traffic in that area, because I
Yeah.
live down that area.
and
But
the sidewalks are not safe.
there's more stores coming in down there.
But there's a lot of foot traffic in Lake Arrowhead on New Dam Road year round.
Yeah,
There was somebody running out there tonight. I mean, with little flashes and whatever, but you can barely see them. And they're in this small space between the road and what's plowed.
You put a sidewalk on New Dam Road from one end to the other, and it would be heavily used.
Yes, I mean,
Yep.
it's used anyways. We have bicycle riders, we have baby carriages, we have runners, we have walkers. And there are hundreds of people that are out there using that, even more so than the amount of people that would be using South Waterboro sidewalks.
well, there's more houses up there. You're right.
We
It
get
is,
the same-
there's-
Same arguments from the people on Old Alford Road. They want sidewalks there.
Yes, I mean, there's another section that is
Because
really,
they have kids walking, from the school.
The
when they get out
schools
of the
and-
fire station and.
But I will remind you all of one thing.
Yeah.
The sidewalks in South Waterboro are there and they're not being maintained. Why would we build sidewalks someplace else if we're not gonna maintain the ones we already have? That's my theory.
And between all of these different ideas here, why didn't one nickel go into something sidewalk related the last few years? And I don't have the answer for that. It's a matter of
We
priority.
asked for it.
Well, I know that we could have got safe routes to school money for Old Alford Road when they were gonna rebuild that. And the voters at town meeting voted it down.
Yep.
And then the money that we had left over from the repairs on the West Road, that money could have been used for Old Alford Road too, and the voters nixed it. They wanted to pay the bond thing off.
Well, let's just we got 2 selectmen here, which is great, and we got the majority of the budget committee, so let's all keep that in mind, because crunch time is, 90 days away to what's in or out of this thing, so.
and I'm not
Tom,
really
listen to
advocating
Wayne to study
sidewalks for Lake Arrowhead. I would like a bike lane,
Yeah.
I think would be more advantageous and better is just a bike
I was
lane,
wondering when
because
they
then the
rebuilt Old
walkers, the
Alford Road, why
bikers,
couldn't you put a bike
and
lane
anybody
in?
else can use that lane.
But there's
And
not-
it's not a curb, and you can plow over to it so that people can use it all year round.
Just saying, just extend the pavement with a painted bike lane.
If I remember correctly, when we talked about the sidewalk over there, the state still maintained maintenance of that road, and I think that they told us that we could not put a bike lane, that it
On
had
New
to be a
Dam?
curb sidewalk.
A floating sidewalk. Because if you put a bike lane in, we found this out on the planning board, it just widens the road and people go faster. They don't see that white line.
Yeah.
It's just, to them, it just looks like a super highway. And that little white line's not much protection for someone with a baby carriage, but to have a curb, to have a floating sidewalk, that's ideal. That's what you really want.
To be continued.
Sounds good.
Any further business, or do you wish to adjourn?
I want to just get our schedule ready for,
Okay, for the upcoming weeks.
yeah. I think you said you were gonna have the rec
Yep.
department in next week?
Recreation for the 11th. And then,
At some point, the library.
Yep.
Um,
new
That
library
might
started
be-
today. I assume you wanted to see the librarian in here, but this will be more.
Yeah,
I'll
so
do
we could do
most
the
of
library on the 18th?
Yep.
Because the 25th is their board night, I believe.
board meeting? Well, they're having a meeting,
Yeah, the library, well, the Board of Trustees usually meets the fourth Thursday of the month.
It's supposed to be this Thursday.
the meeting this Thursday.
Oh,
I
they're
think
meeting this
because
Yeah.
Julie
because of the-
started this week.
Okay,
I'm not sure if they're actually gonna have another meeting the end of January or not.
They may not have this
I
meeting
think that
if
they
it's Thursday.
weren't. That's why they moved her up. I think their next meeting was February.
But to his point, Mother Nature may put the kibosh
Yes.
to that. And that would be great, because then I could have 3 meetings next Thursday night to go to instead of 2, so. So, 11th, rec, library 18th. And how about library and transfer station that same night? I don't see that being an unusual.
no,
Yeah, we'll do that.
And, I mean, we've got a lot of, the usual little administrative departments here that we can just start after that unless there's somebody else you want before you here in terms of the actual department head in here at a meeting.
well, at some point on one of these nights, we'll probably have to have Matt here.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
give
shoot, I
him a
forgot
whole
about
out, and give him a whole,
Yep.
Yeah, he'll have to have a whole night.
And Jim doesn't have a copy of the
Yes.
fire department. Oh, you did get it, okay, sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
fine.
think you did have it, Jim.
Yeah, that thing on the left-hand side, Jim, is the backup, a little more detail in the way that Matt puts the numbers together. You can use that for all you want, but I'm not gonna format the whole budget to that.
Okay.
There's a little more detail in that than we're just gonna continue with the legal size sheets in the format that we've been working with. So 25th, fire department?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, we can just
Yeah, we can do like,
start at the top of the budget and work down through all the other
Who was the
administrative.
18th? Excuse me,
18th is library and transfer station.
thank you.
And why don't we, if you're okay with that, if Mother Nature bumps us out, we'll just reschedule everybody another week out
Yep.
and just continue with that. I mean, we lost, I don't know, 2 or 3 meetings last winter for Mother Nature. Probably happen again.
And those are at 4:30? You're shooting for?
The 11th
The
is going to
11th.
be at 4:30.
Okay.
If, just put a big question mark. 4:30 only if EDC is meeting. If EDC is not meeting, what are your wishes? Do you want to go 4:30 or 6?
We'll go
what's that?
well, whatever is
There's
good
no
for Brianna.
conflict with EDC.
Yeah,
What do you prefer?
I prefer early, actually.
Yes? Okay, both of you.
I can do,
So it's
I can do
definitely
4:30, but
4:30.
4:30 PM the
Mhm.
11th.
we gotta check with Brianna though.
Yep. And that would be the other, Brianna.
I think she
Whether-
said okay
What did she?
before to the earlier time.
Okay.
I think it depends too on her other schedule. So I guess as long as she can do it, as long as everybody can do it, it'll be okay.
All right,
Yeah, 4:30 works
So
better for me.
4:30 next week,
yes.
if not.
Where's my pencil?
Awesome.
That way you guys can go home earlier too.
Yeah.
It's another night.
Another
Just another
note, Gary, have we learned yet how much money we're gonna get from the federal government and where that could possibly go in terms of this last storm damage? I thought there was federal money, we qualified for federal monies.
Yeah, I think that,
Power outage?
Yeah,
that was north of 20,000, the estimate that Matt put together. I guess I don't have any new information other than that rough figure.
that would, I'm sure would be something that the budget committee would want to consider in terms of, funding and so forth.
It's an offset from this year. It doesn't affect the next year's budget, but it's certainly something they can know about. It might be a month of Sundays before we know what it is, the way they
I was
operate.
gonna say, how speedy are they
Oh,
on
my
getting
God.
back to you?
Yeah, it's awful.
The last time when we had that big winter storm, was it 2 winters ago? We met with people in this room 3 different times, and there were 3 different people from FEMA that came. They were all wonderful folks, pleasant to talk to, but we just got different stories and round and round and round. And I almost told Matt this time around, if it was gonna be down to the $3,000 to $5,000 category, it's not worth it. I mean, he and Doug, before you started, burned up so much time, mostly Matt, not Doug, and a little bit of mine, just getting that data together.
It's not worth the time.
If you don't collect it, when you're out there in the truck and write things down and take pictures, it takes you 5 times as much time to get all that stuff together.
The Patriot storm back before Gary came in, all kidding aside, it was that thick, and that was Nancy and I did all of that, and all the forms that we had
How
to
long
do.
did it take them to pay off?
Almost a year.
I mean, it's worth doing if it's a substantial event, and that was a substantial event.
I didn't even know that we could get anything for that as like a homeowner, because that Patriot storm ruined my septic. I had to have some guy come out and do work on my septic.
Did you have a tree fall down into the leach field or something?
No, we got a brook there, and that brook became a raging river because a bunch of trees had blocked up the on West Road. It blocked up that culvert. We had water 5 feet deep over that culvert, and it was. When you look on my lawn, there's holes in my lawn, and that's where the water had been shooting out.
Coming up through the
So it
leach
just
field?
undermined the
Yeah,
whole
it
thing.
went underneath the road, came up through my leach field, everything.
Ouch.
I
That's
still
a
got
bad
pictures
day.
of that. Of
What's
the
that?
flooding down there.
It was bad. Because it knocked out the culvert on, what is that?
Hamilton.
Scooter Hill Road.
I don't know which one.
Is it Scooter Hill? Yeah, Scooter.
Oh, Scooter.
Scooter Lane, that's it, Scooter Lane.
That's where all the debris backs up and then it pops it out like a cord.
It actually took out the entire culvert, the road, everything on Scooter Hill, on Scooter Lane, and then it
Scooter's
knocked down a
Way.
bunch. It
Yes.
knocked down a bunch of trees between Scooter Lane and my house, and all those trees clogged up the culvert. So everything, the water had no choice but to go over, and when it went over, it went underneath the road and through my leach field. Everything. It was terrible.
The cameras are running, so if you wish to adjourn, we should probably do that. We can
I'm
continue.
sorry. Yes, we can
afterwards.
continue that conversation
Little
later.
history on the storms.
Anything else? Okay, we'll adjourn at
7:31.
7:31, 18:31.
Thank you. Thank you, folks, for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was crazy. Looking out my window, I see geysers.